The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're so pleased to have on the show an incredible band, award-winning, originally from Oklahoma, now from Nashville. I've got the Swon Brothers with Colton and Zach on the show. So good to have you guys in finally.
Thanks for having us, man. We're here.
I feel like I've been trying to work this for like a year and a half, but you guys are always touring or writing songs, and now you got a brand new EP out, MercyMe Cabin.
Yeah, well, we're in demand.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
No, yeah, man. I'm glad we're here. Thanks for having us. We do. We have a new EP, and it's been fun. It's been a fun process.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was telling you both before we came in studio, to where I've certainly listened to your music over the years and enjoyed everything you've done. But also with this one, it's kind of a stripped down. And we got to talk about this single on here that I feel is a hit, and I think the world will also, By Now. And working with Billy Montana.
Yeah, man, that song is so special to us. We didn't write it thinking, oh, we got this big hit on our hands or anything like that. We just got in there, and it was almost like therapy for us. We wrote it about a dear friend that had passed away, and we just got to thinking, like, I wonder what. She was actually the first one to put a bass guitar in our hands, or a guitar, and so we got to thinking, like, man, I wonder what she's up to in heaven, like what she's doing in heaven right now. And that's kind of how that song came about. And there's some special tunes on there for us, for sure.
It is such a great song, and you guys are known for your family harmony and everything that you bring to every song. But what I like most about this new EP is that it's just a bit raw. You know what I mean? And also, you guys recorded this at the MercyMe Cabin, which I'm kind of fans of those guys too. I hope they're doing okay.
Yeah.
maybe a hit song here or there.
Yeah, probably doing all right.
Yeah. Also, Imagine Cabin. Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to be a fun place to record.
It was, man. We met Bart at an event. We ended up singing at this show one night together, and I kind of fangirled out a little bit. I mean, I grew up singing his songs in church, and just absolute salt of the earth guy. Like, and he invited us out to, we didn't know where we were going, but it ended up being the Imagine Cabin where they record all their stuff, and it's MercyMe studio, and we went out to write a song, and we ended up just talking for 4 hours. I mean, just
incredible.
Just like a brother, and he said, hey guys, if you ever want to record, like, this is yours, just, and so we took him up on it. We're like, hey, do you mean that? Like, we just want to come in for one day, and I don't really know what we were gonna do with it. We just knew that we had like 4 or 5 songs that we wanted to track, and we thought, man, it'd be really cool to just track this all at one time. Like, don't overproduce it. Like, just sing just the two of us. Right. Normally, if we do a record, he ends up stacking like 18 harmony parts, and
because you've
got a million guitar tracks. We don't even have an electric guitar on this record. It's
right. But you've got dobro, you got fiddle, you got everything else.
It's like bluegrass on steroids, I think.
It is. But you know what? It interested me that you guys did this entire album and the videos in one day.
Yeah.
And it sounds so incredible. But it's interesting to me too, because certainly, you guys, when you were on The Voice, and you did so well on there doing Tom Petty. You kind of got some rock and roll in there. You kind of got some of the gospel in there. This almost leans into Americana. I feel like this is kind of crossing boundaries for the Swon Brothers.
You know what? I mean, I guess they're meant to be crossed sometimes.
We'll take it.
We grew up loving the Eagles, the Tom Petty. I mean, that was some of the first things that we heard from our parents. And so that is a huge compliment. And we are seeing, of course, the country music scene latch on, but we are seeing people from the Americana side, like, and I like these guys, you know, and part of our show, just about every time we do a show, we break it down to where it's really stripped down, me and my brother, and we just kept getting message after message saying, we really like this part of y'all's show. So we latched onto that, and we listened to what people were telling us, and that's what this album kind of is.
Well, when I saw you guys perform last year at that showcase, and I'd seen you before, obviously around Nashville, but it's like, it was just so powerful, just the two brothers and the harmonies, and you guys just nailed it. And so it makes sense to me with the Imagine Cabin sessions and everything, why this is reaching so many. But you're already working on a new album also that might be later, out later this year, maybe a little more produced.
A little more. I think the older we get, the more we just kind of, and this is for any artist. Like, 10 years ago, we thought the stuff we were writing then was the best thing we've written, you know, but I think now we're just leaning into the evolution of everything and change and different writing styles. And I'm sure that the next record will be, you know, different, and we'll be more excited about it than this one. You know, that's just how musicians are. But I do love the fact that, like, traditional country and 90s country, which is what we grew up on, is kind of making a resurgence. So I'm sure you'll hear a taste of that.
Well, you know, especially, you know, you guys have done major tours with Carrie Underwood and with Brad Paisley, and headlining your own tours. But I find it interesting, you know, back in Oklahoma, which, you know, you guys, you know, have gotten some awards back there and on the trail and everything with the routes and all this. I mean, you guys are kind of big in Muskogee, Oklahoma. You're a thing.
Yeah, you know what? We've been pretty blessed, man. Like, they gave us, the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame gave us the Rising Star Award, and we've been nominated for a CMA, an ACM, CMT. Like, we're literally just a couple of dorks from Muskogee, Oklahoma that we just like, how do we end up here, man? And we've been in Nashville about 12 years now, and we've just been blessed. Like, I don't know why, but we don't deserve it. But
I think you guys do. I think the quality of the music, and certainly, you know, with the country music and everything else, you guys are going to have some great tours and stuff coming up this year. So I know, you know, viewers are going to want to find out with your website, social media, also taking out some Takaminis and some Fender stuff.
Yeah, of course.
A little bit of music gear, which we're both, all three, you know, music nuts.
Oh yeah.
I'm a gear nerd for sure.
Yeah, you got some nice Takaminis, especially on the music videos too.
Yeah, man. They've been good to us, and we collect a little bit. I probably got.
Well, you know, when you're hanging out with people like Brad Paisley, though, it can't be good because you see all the toys they've got, all the guitars they have.
You know, it was crazy. I used to think that I love playing electric guitar, but I'm nowhere near Brad Paisley or anybody in this town, really. But when we were on tour with him, every day, one of the coolest things about that tour was he was such a gear nerd, too, that he would show up early and, like, help me out, you know, setting up my pedal board or my amps or, I mean, there's no telling how many, you know, foot pedals that he gave me and put on my pedal board for me and like, here, try this out tonight. You know, it was just really, really cool. I mean, he's the one that made me buy a G-Bender Telecaster and you know, turns out I really sucked at it. But it's a pretty awesome guitar, you know.
Exactly, and it's a great story.
Yeah.
You know, just like you guys have so many incredible stories, just like, you know, growing up in Oklahoma, playing with the family band, and then when you guys finally launched the Swon Brothers as teenagers then, and where that has taken you on this journey, it seems like you guys are really taking off right now.
It's what we have always wanted to do. We don't have a backup plan.
Right.
So we, you know, no matter who's on our team, I know we got Vanessa, who is incredible, you know, and she's been our #1 champion since day one.
Right.
And, you know, this is all us though, man. This is us.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to make sure for our viewers, I know that this is out, you know, digitally, so everybody can add all of the songs from the MercyMe Cabin sessions, which I recommend you do. By now will be a hit. And then I understand it might come out on CD and vinyl later on. So I want to make sure for our viewers with the website, social media, I know you handle all the great social media, where do they need to go for everything with the Swon Brothers?
Okay, just follow us at the Swon Brothers. That's SWON. We're easy to find. And then you can go to SwanBrothers.com to figure out where we're touring, all the new merch, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you guys are everywhere.
We're trying to be.
Yeah, and also you do a great job on the social media, so sometimes you get to sit in on the writing sessions and everything.
Yeah, most of the time it's me running it, and then if it gets real bad, it's probably him. So
at least you have someone always to blame, though, with your brothers.
I will tell you this. This is just how we operate, the dynamic here. He'll get mad at me. He'll be like, I need you to help. I need you to help post something. And you know, in my defense, I didn't grow up with that. Like, I barely got a cell phone, but it didn't do anything. You know, it was like for emergencies only. You know? And so it's just never been important to me. And it's crazy how important it is in this business now. But here's what happens is he tells me to do something and I go do it. And then he calls and tells me how I did it wrong. So
that's a brother.
It's a brother, yeah.
Yeah, that's a brother thing. But I'll tell you one thing you guys didn't do wrong is this brand new EP. And I want everybody to check this out. It is the MercyMe Cabin sessions with Zach and Colton, the Swon Brothers. You're going to love it as much as I do. But go see these guys live, too. They're going to be touring all over the country. Go see them acoustic, and then I think full band probably later in the fall also.
Yes. Hey, congrats to you, man. This show is, blowing up everywhere.
Absolutely.
Like, you're the one that's everywhere now.
Yeah, well, for artists like yourselves, because this will air also in Oklahoma.
That's right.
There
Our
we
Okie
go.
fan base. That's where all of our
We can't do it without our Okies.
That's
for
right.
Tell you
Little
what.
Hodge Ford there in Muskogee, keeping us in trucks, and I'm telling you, like we cannot do it without those people. Like
Right.
it starts somewhere, and we're real Okies from Muskogee. We're proud of it. So.
I'll tell you what, and the music is incredible. Check them out, the Swon Brothers. You're going to love them as much as I do, but go see them live too.
The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.